always seem to know when it's time to call. Rainy day people don't talk, they just listen till they've heard it all. Rainy day lovers don't lie when they tell you they've been down like you. Rainy day people don't mind if you cry on a tear or two. If you get lonely, all you really need is that rainy day love. Rainy day people all know there's no sorrow they can rise above. Rainy day lovers don't love any others, that would not be kind. Rainy day people all know how it hangs on your peace of mind. Rainy day lovers don't lie when they tell you they've been down there too. Rainy day people don't mind if you cry on a tear or two. Rainy day people always seem to know when you're feeling blue. High-stepping strutters who land in the gutter sometimes need one too. Take it or leave it, or try to believe it if you've been down too long. Rainy day lovers don't hide love inside, they just pass it on. Rainy day lovers don't hide love inside, they just pass it on.
Now that she's back in the atmosphere with drops of Jupiter in her head, she acts like summer and walks like rain, reminds me that there's a time to change. Since the return of her stay on the moon, she listens like spring and she talks like June. Well, tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all fading and that heaven is overrated? Tell me, did you fall for a shooting star? One without a permanent scar, and then you missed me while you were looking for yourself out there. Now that she's back from that soul vacation, tracing her way through the constellation. She checks out Mozart while she does chapel, reminds me that there's room to grow. Now that she's back in the atmosphere, I'm afraid that she might think of me as plain old Jane Doe, a story about a man who was too afraid to fly, so he never did land. But tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? Did you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day? Get back to the Milky Way. But tell me, Venus blow your mind? Was it everything you wanted to find? And then you missed me while you were looking for yourself. you imagine no love, fried deep fried chicken? Your best friend always sticking up for you. Even when I know you're wrong, can you imagine no first dance, freeze-dried romance, 5-hour phone conversation, the best soy latte that you ever had in me? But tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? Did you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day and head back to the Milky Way? And tell me, did you sail across the sun? Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all faded? And that heaven is overrated. Tell me, did you fall for a shooting star? One without a permanent scar, and let you miss me while you were looking for yourself. Na 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 na. And then you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day. And then you fall for a shooting star. Fall for a shooting star. And now you're only looking for yourself out there.
My white Tacoma and right Tacoma's a matching kerosene. I pit stopped in here for one cold beer and you tumbled into me. We talked all night, I formed a light that turned into a wildfire. But I can't slow down, I cut through town like a rusty old barbed wire. Baby, I'm a road running, heads Carolina, tails Timbuktu, there ain't no one. Nobody's had enough, get up and go in the boots. Finger in the air, slinging prayers, heroin, blown pedal to the metal, burning rubber off the bridgestone. I've never loaded my shotgun seat. I'm a road runner, and baby, you can run with me. Motel vacant sign is flashing like it don't want me to leave. But I gotta chase the sunrise and keep the tumble in my wheel. I wanna taste your cowboy kiss, but in a different state. If you want to, you better grab your boots, made for the highway. Baby, I'm a road runner, heads Carolina, tails Timbuktu, there ain't no one. Nobody's had enough, get up and go in the boots. Finger in the air, slinging prayers, heroin, blown pedal to the metal, burning rubber on the bridgestone. I've never loaded my shotgun seat. I'm a road runner, and baby, you can run with me. Road, road, road runner, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arizona. Road, road, road runner, rolling down the road, trying to find me another. Road running, heads Carolina, tails Timbuktu, there ain't no one. Nobody's had enough, get up and go in the boots. Finger in the air, slinging prayers, heroin, blown pedal to the metal, burner rubber off the bridgestone. I've never loaded my shotgun
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed, 'cause this is daylight night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's daylight night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer night. Ooh. You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold hand and wonder if you ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. Girl, but all the while you hear a creature creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is daylight. There ain't no second chance against the thing with the 40 eyes, girl. You're fighting for your life inside a killer night. Creatures calling the dead start to walk in their masquerade. There's no escaping the jaws of the alien this time. This is the end of your life. They're out to get you. As demons closing in on every side. They will possess you unless you change that number on your dial. And now is the time for you and I to cuddle close together. Yeah. All through the night, I'll save you from the terror on the screen. I'll make you see that this is daylight night. 'Cause I can feel you more than any goes through that dead So let me hold you tight and share up together. 'Cause this is daylight night. Girl, I can feel you more than any goes through that dead So let me hold you tight and share up together. I'm gonna be tonight.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell.
I'm gonna do it tonight.
The foulest stench is in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
But then they sent me away to teach me how to be sensible, logical, oh, responsible, practical. And then they showed me a world where I could be so dependable, oh, clinical, oh, intellectual, cynical. There are times when all the world is asleep, the questions run too deep for such a simple mind. Won't you please, please tell me what's wrong? I know it sounds absurd. Please tell me who I am. I said, now what would you say? They'll be calling you a radical, a liberal, oh, fanatical criminal. Oh, won't you sign up your name? We'd like to be your acceptable, respectable, oh, presentable, a vegetable. Oh, take it, yeah. But at night, when all the world's asleep, the questions run so deep for such a simple mind. Won't you please, please tell me what you've learned? I know it sounds absurd. Please tell me who I am. Who I am so logical. You can say you love me, and I'll believe that's true. Trusting you is easy, 'cause I believe in you. There is nothing I wouldn't miss as long as we're in love like this. All I have is all I need, and it all comes down to you and me. How far away this world becomes in the harbor of each other's arms. I feel like I've known you forever and ever. Baby, that's how close we are. Right here with you is where my life has come together, and where love has filled my heart. You know I'd go anywhere as long as I have you to care. All I have is all I need, and it all comes down to you and me. How far away this world becomes in the harbor of each other's arms. Ooh, and with the love you bring, I never want for anything. I found what I've been searching for in you. All I have is all I need, and it all comes down to you and me. How far away this world becomes in the harbor of each other's arms. All I have is all I need, and it all comes down to you and me. How far away this world becomes in the harbor of each other's arms.
There's a want and there's a need. There's a history between girls like her and guys like me, cowboys and angels. I've got boots and she's got wings. I'm hell on wheels and she's heavenly. I'd die for her and she lives for me, cowboys and angels. We ride side by side, a cloud of dust, a ray of light. My touch is her temptation, her kiss is my salvation. She's sweet, I'm wild, we're dangerous, cowboys and angels. Not sure why her path crossed mine, accident or grand design. Oh, maybe God just kinda likes cowboys and angels. We ride side by side, a cloud of dust, a ray of light. My touch is her temptation, her kiss is my salvation. She's sweet, I'm wild, we're dangerous. Cowboys and angels. There's a want and there's a need. There's a history between girls like you and guys like me. Cowboys and angels. Cowboys and angels.
Working like a dog, trying to please them all, trying to put another comma in the bank, trying to get these broke down dreams to crank. Sometimes a good girl's gotta break out the den. I'm gonna pour me a drink, pour my ass in. For heaven's sake, I need a good time. Lord knows it ain't no crime to leave a little lipstick red on the soul. Make a little mess of my head on the crib. Oh, I don't need no help, no, I got this. Coming in hot as hell, y'all watch this. Gonna tear up this town like a drunk tornado. Light it up, let it all go. Tell that angel inside of me to hide her wings and lay low. Hold my halo. I got a neon sign, I let it shine sometime. Sitting like a devil on my shoulder. Tonight I'm gonna let it take over. Leave a little lipstick red on the solo. Make a little mess of my head on the crib. Oh, I don't need no help, no, I got this. Coming in hot as hell, y'all watch this. Gonna tear up this town like a drunk tornado. Light it up, let it all go. Tell that angel inside of me to hide her wings and lay low. Hold my halo. Put it back on in the morning. Put it back on in the morning. Put it back on in the morning. Put it back on, put it back on. Sometimes a good girl's gotta break out the den. I'm gonna pour me a drink, pour my ass in 'em. For heaven's sake, I need a good time. Lord knows it ain't no crime to leave a little lipstick red on the solo. Make a little mess of my head on the crib. Oh, I don't need no help, no, I got this. Coming in hot as hell, y'all watch this. Gonna tear up this town like a drunk I had a way then, losing it all on my own. I had a heart then, but the queen has been overthrown. And I'm not sleeping now. The dark is too hard to beat, and I'm not keeping now the strength I need to push me. You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone. You shine me when I'm alone. And so I tell myself that I'll be strong and dreaming when they're gone. 'Cause they're calling, calling, calling me home. Calling, calling, calling home.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Today we're here to celebrate the life of Bob LaJuett. Can you hear me? Okay. A little closer. We're here to celebrate the life of Bob LaJuett. Bob was my brother, the oldest sibling of four. He was the one that all of us looked up to. And I wish now that I had told him that, because I'm not sure he knew. We grew up in a small town of Rush, New York, and we had a lot of fond memories as children. Just a few of them were riding motorcycles, riding dirt bikes, and fishing in the Rush Creek. For a while, we even played on the same Little League baseball team together. When we got a little older and Bob got old enough to drive, he bought this old truck. It was a 1977 Chevrolet. It was his first vehicle. Our father, Bob Sr., and him ripped that thing apart, and they fixed it up and modified it and customized it. They painted that thing the ugliest green that I've ever seen in my life to this day. He loved that truck. He took care of it like it was his firstborn, as he did with everything he owned. He really did. Him and Dad spent a lot of time on that, and I really believe him and Dad cherished the time they spent together, even more so than the truck itself. When I was 16, I was not as good of a kid as Bob. I bought this motorcycle, a street bike, and once in a while we would swap vehicles. I would drive the green truck and he would drive my Yamaha 750. And I don't remember the date, but one particular night he took that Yamaha out and I guess he wanted to see what it would do. And he did it in front of a cop. From what I understand, so Bob didn't want to get in trouble. He was getting pulled over. He decided to make a break for it, which was not in his personality at all. He turned down a one-way street and he was busted. I remember being home when the police called. They had impounded the bike. Rob was at the station. And I don't even think the cop was mad because Rob was such a good guy. He owned it. And I'll never forget the phone call. I was listening. I was in the other room. And Dad was talking to the guy, the policeman that had called. And I distinctly remember hearing my dad say, "He turned down a fucking one-way street." It was so like, when he got off the phone, my dad looked at me and said, "I thought he was the smart one." And he really was. He really was the smart one of the four of us. A little further on in life, Bob went off to school, off to college. First, he went to Oswego, and then he went to Virginia Tech, where he met the love of his life, Sharon Brusick. Marrying her and starting a family was the start of a whole new chapter in his life. It was awesome to watch. At this point, we were, apart. I was in the Marine Corps, but we still talked on the phone. And at that point in his life, our phones were mainly on the phone. Our conversations were mainly on the phone, where our conversations once were focused on girls, cars, and sports. Now they were focused on his family, old friends, his new wife, Sharon, his job, his newly adopted girls, which, by the way, were the absolute love of his life. What an amazing family he had. He loved them with all of his heart, and everybody knew that. You could see it, for sure, After all these years, he was still my big brother, and I still looked up to him. I would call him with questions regarding a lot of things. One, I was putting a sliding glass door in, and he talked me through the whole thing. You could call him about anything, whether it be something to be repaired in your home or even personal or professional issues. He was calm, and he had a way about him. He could talk you through that stuff. We always looked up to him, and he was great at that stuff, and he loved doing it. Even how to stake your tomato plants, which to this day, my garden looks amazing, and it's all because of Bob. He came over and looked at my garden and was like, "We got to fix this." Bob was patient, calm, great at talking and teaching. I think that's what made him such an amazing teacher. He was really built for that. He really was. And I'm sorry this is so short. It's almost over. He was an amazing teacher. He was built for it. Although he was taken from us too soon, and we will all miss him deeply, we should be grateful for the time that we spent together. He wouldn't want us to be sad. He'd definitely want us to laugh, share, and enjoy the memories. I think we should remember the good times. That's what he'd want. Bob, thanks for being my big brother, my role model, and my friend. I will never forget you, and I'll always love you. Rest in peace, big brother.
I'll pull this down about 2 feet here, and we won't be. That's straightened out. Okay. My name is Len, and I'm proud to be Bob's friend. Gosh, this is hard, but we will try. So Sharon asked me to say, some things from his personal life around here and other places. We traveled quite extensively with them. So I'm going to start with the Fulton Theater, where we were both Sharon and I and Bob and my wife Ivana were season ticket holders for years. And, Bob and I were two peas in a pod when it came to the Fulton. I think we were totally in sync. Probably liked about 50% of everything we saw. But it was, it was something to do in the cold months. And, so Bob would drive. He would show up habitually late to pick us up. But as long as we had enough time to, that will be mentioned, I'm sure, by someone else. Ivana used to ask me, does Bob wear a watch after a while? And I'm like, well, I know he has a cell phone, so he has the ability to tell what time it is, but it's kind of like our bathroom scale. He has one, but we should use it more often. We've got to. So, and then the more we hung around and I did some things, just Bob and I realized it was actually much worse than that. I came home and told Ivana that I think this man has totally liberated himself from the whole concept of time. It's just not a thing for him. So off to the Fulton we would go, and as long as we had an extra 5 minutes, we would raid the Sunoco station and stuff our pockets. And in the winter, it was good because we could wear parachute pants with all kinds of pockets with the most disgusting, candy that you could find. And I'm a good cardiac patient. I pretty much exist on Coke Zero and gumdrops and stuff. And so it's unusual for me to get out sweet tooth, but Bob actually liked Mike and Ike's and things like Smarties and stuff that even out sweet toothed me and even I found disgusting, but he would line his pockets with this stuff. Sorry, Andrea, I know we're supposed to pay. She works at the Fulton. And then we'd go. And then sometimes it was a race to see who could fall asleep first. Bob's a really good sleeper anyway. I'm sure that'll be mentioned. But that place could put me to sleep sometimes, especially if it was heavy drama. Bob would, I don't know, I think you let him sleep, Sharon. I don't know what you did. I would get the sharp elbow to the ribs, followed by the patented back fist to the forehead and pay attention, so so Bob, we both sleep through some of the heavy drama, but there were a lot of things that we did thoroughly enjoy. And of course, what else Bob and I would leave, just sobbing if it was a sad play, even if it was totally fictitious, and the women would just be like, where's our, where are we going for dinner tonight? And they didn't care. But Bob and I would leave crying. So sometimes that would happen. And of course, inevitably, we'd have to reschedule. And then they'd put the four of us in line. We didn't sit together. I preferred to sit back a couple rows from where they did because they were in what I'd call the danger zone for anybody who goes to live theater. That's in the first few rows where you could be drafted to participate in the show. And he would sit close enough. I'd sit a couple rows back. Occasionally we'd have to reschedule because of conflict, and they'd put four of us in a row, and I'd tell him, okay, Bob, you can You can have my shoulder if you fall asleep first, but if you start drooling on my shirt, you're going back to Sharon. You're going the other way. And but so then I guess my most memorable moment would be from a play called I think it was Whose Christmas Is It Anyway, or something like that. It was about the Dr. Seuss character, the fictitious character, Cindy Lou Who, in her grown-up life. And Bob was drafted to come up on stage and participate and have a drink with Cindy Lou Who. And it was entertaining. He had turned a mild pink for a while, and then somehow she got around the back of him and face planted him with her sizable boobs. And I watched Bob turn a shade that I didn't know people could turn. I'm gonna tell you, freshly painted fire hydrant red comes to mind. And so, we expanded our time with theater from the Fulton on to Broadway. Sharon and I are both born in November, a couple days from each other, and we'd go up to and see some Broadway. We thought that was a nice thing. We started that tradition one year, and Bob would happily drive what I called the old family truckster. He never gave up the minivan. A lot of us grew out of that stage when the kids got older, but he liked the minivan, and it was darn comfortable. And he would make up for that showing up 15 minutes late by driving like a wild man on the turnpikes. As far as I was concerned, he was well over 90, and I'm like, well, he's a big boy. I'm not going to say anything, but if he gets a speeding ticket, he certainly deserved it. That's just the way it is. And so up we'd go to see some Broadway, and a lot of times we'd park in New Jersey and take the train in, and of course we'd pop out of Penn Station underneath Madison Square Garden, and Bob's first stop was the closest Sabrett hot dog stand, and yeah, he had a love affair with those things, and which is going to be shared with all of us later, right? Those of us who stick around for mealtime. And he should have been employed by the hot dog company or the Board of Health or somebody, because he would sample. If he'd try the hot dog stand at 34th and 7th Avenue right outside Madison Square Garden, and then he'd stop at another one on 45th and Broadway, and he tried all of them. That was his job in life, was to sample the Sabrett hot dog stands throughout New York City. And so we had a good time doing that, and then we started a bunch of international travel. Alaska is not international, but it sure is far and big, and we had a good time up there. Not my favorite vacation. I was sick the whole time, but we were going to plan a trip to Italy. Sharon wanted to go to Italy. COVID got in the way, and we couldn't make it work. So on a last-minute spur of the moment, I suggested we go to Quebec City, a place that Ivana and I had spent some time earlier in life when we had like little kids, and I'm sure the whole experience was miserable, but I did like the place. And of course, it's kind of like Europe, even though you don't have to leave the continent, and it's definitely French first up there. So up we went, and we had a good time. I don't know if you remember the cab driver, Sharon, but our cab driver didn't speak any English. We took a hotel right outside the airport the first night, and then we moved into the old city, which is what you really want to do up there. He didn't speak any English, but we passed a building and it said boutique on it. And he knew the word boutique, and he just kept staring at Bob and I and saying boutique. And he'd crack up laughing with this hard laugh. And anyway, he over time, I came to realize that maybe the word boutique in English doesn't mean quite the same thing in French, because some of these places look kind of seedy. And I thought he had some big plans for Bob and I, even though our wives were with us. And I thought, this is just terrible. Now, another thing about that trip, I'd spoke to them the night before. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go. Bob, had many hobbies. Certainly a great, bicycle enthusiast and gardener and woodworker. But one of the things he had recently taken up was beekeeping. And the night before we were supposed to leave, well after I spoke with him, he got into the beehives, and he thought he could do it with his gardening gloves or something. And that does not work, didn't work. This did not work out well. So he got on that plane looking like Popeye. His hands and forearms were all swollen. He'd been stung many, many times by these bees. And of course, we went to went to find a pharmacist inside the old city when we moved in there because he was kind of in pain and we needed to. So I'm listening to the girls talk. It was crowded in there. I was up closer to the counter, and so much of what Bob and I told each other wasn't really real. We'd try to convince each other that things were real, that were not real, and some of it was ridiculous, and you wouldn't get away with it. But other things, I heard them talking. They're in French, but they're talking about maybe Benadryl or something. And I'm thinking, okay. And Bob says, "What's she saying?" And I said, well, she's telling the other girl they're talking over what would be best to bring down your swelling. And I think they were just counter workers. And the guy came out from the back, and then they were explaining to him in French. And I see her, with these hand movements about the arms and all. And he says, what's she saying now? And I said, I think she's saying, Bob, she's saying, come and look at this guy. He stuck both of his hands in a bee's nest all the way up to his elbow. And she's like, what's he saying now? And I said, she's saying she's never seen anybody so shit all stupid as you, Bob, and I just, I didn't. So for a minute I had him there. I have no idea what she was saying. They were talking in French. I don't speak any French. So that was that trip. And then, but when you needed a friend shortly after that, some big tree came down and clobbered my house. And he was one of a few people in this room that turned up with a trailer and a chainsaw. And he called me. He never did call me. He said he called me. He couldn't reach me. And he said, he just turned up in the driveway. And I said, could have called. He said, well, I tried to call, but I knew where you'd be. And, so when you needed a good friend, gosh, he was there. That's all he did was help people his whole life, just great for that. So, and paybacks are tough. I'd gotten him a couple of times, and then just as recently as a year or so ago, I'm a season ticket holder along with JC in the back there to the Hershey Bears hockey team here in Hershey, PA. And as a result of that, we get free season. We get a free pass to the Hershey Park, the amusement park that I'm sure you all know of, even if you're not from here. And but my kids are older, and I'm not really in a Hershey Park these days. So I told Sharon and Bob, let's just go up. These tickets, they have a timeout date. It was use it or lose it time. We went up, we had some dinner, and then we're going to go in the park. And I had retired by now. I'd bought a new vehicle because I hadn't done that in like 50 years. And I thought, well, I don't have a paycheck coming anymore. It's not going to happen again. So slightly before I retired, I bought this new Toyota RAV4. And I left it parked. By the time we got to the park, it was a total washout. It was thunderstorms. And so I parked on the curb, and I figured, well, it'll let me have replacement tickets, right? Because that's what happens when you have a washout day like that at an amusement park. I waited in a long line. I put my blinkers on, and I said, look, if they come, just move the car. I know I was on a yellow curb. I know I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Thought this would only take a minute. It did not. They put me in a long line. A lot of people just as cheap as me waiting to get their tickets validated, right? And then I got to the front, and they said, well, you're never in the park. And I said, no, why would I go in the park? It's raining. It's pouring. They said, well, you got to go in the park and get your ticket stamped if you want to get a replacement ticket. So I had to go. And then they made me run in and out like Bugs Bunny, like 4 times, in and out of the entrance, exit with 4 tickets. And by now I'm thinking these guys are wondering what happened to me. So I look down at my phone. I'm going to send them a text. I'm waiting in line again for the replacements. And here's Bob. They towed your car, Len. I tried to stop them, but when they put a big gash in the hood, I started arguing with them, and now we all got arrested. And so you got to go pay the impound fee to get your car back so you can come and bail us out of the Derry Township jail. And I just, it got more and more ridiculous. But for a slight period of time, he really did have me because I realized it was certainly a possibility that the car could have got towed for as long as I left it there. And so, so that was a whole lot of our relationship. That and travel. I was pleased to get him to come to Ireland, where we had a fantastic trip, and take him to Cork, Ireland, which is just about the ancestral home of Jameson, which was his drink of choice, Jameson on the rocks. Had a great time in Ireland, Switzerland, Germany, France, Netherlands. Gosh. his time should have been longer, but glad for what we did.
Okay. Well, I'm not quite as funny. I'm going to talk about some of the more serious and wonderful sides of Bob. My name is Diane Marshall. I'm Sharon's older sister from Wisconsin. So, we all know Bob was a great guy, so I got a lot to say, so you got to bear with me. But I like to talk about the things Bob built. When we think about Bob, it's easy to think about all the things he built. He built furniture, he built gardens, he built beehives, he designed and finished their home, he built bicycles with lifelong adventures. But there's one thing I've learned about reflecting on Bob's life. It's this. Bob's greatest creations were never made of wood. They were made of love, of patience, of kindness, of generosity. Bob built people. And as an industrial arts and technology education teacher for 37 years, he taught thousands of students who walked into the classroom thinking they were simply going to learn woodworking or architecture or computer-aided drafting and design. Yes, he showed them how to use those tools. He solved problems with them and create things with their own hands. But even more important than those projects, he built confidence, skills, character, and futures. They learned that if something doesn't work the first time, you don't quit. You figure it out. Looking back, I wonder, and I saw today and met a few of the students here today, how many other students are now fixing something in their own garage or with their kids or building something with their children because Bob instilled the desire or taught them the basic skills that they use today. As president of the Teachers Union negotiating team, he stood up for fellow teachers and worked to make things better for others. That willingness to help, lead, and serve wasn't something he only did at work. It was simply who he was. He spent a lifetime teaching, a lifetime helping, a lifetime building, and a lifetime fixing everything. He handcrafted their bedroom furniture, tables, cabinets, and going back a few years, the stool for his godson Justin, and wood building blocks and a frog cage for his nephew Brett, and much, much more. He proudly helped Elaine and his son-in-law Dean with the many problems with their first home. He would help anyone, as others have mentioned, who had a problem to solve. In fact, I'd like to ask you something, all of you. If Bob has ever fixed something for you, built something for you, helped you with a project, taught you a skill, gave you advice, or simply gave you his time, would you please raise your hand? Thank you. That is Bob's legacy. Look around how many people raise their hands. He helped so many people in so many ways. Those hands represented the countless lives he touched. Those hands represented the people Bob built. Bob was kind to all. And one of my favorite examples of this came from an unexpected source. My 6-year-old granddaughter, Emmy. When I asked her about what she remembered about Uncle Bob, she told me that a story from a family Christmas when she was just 4.5 years old. Now she's 6. During our white elephant sale, we've all probably had those white elephant exchanges, she opened a gift that happened to be a poop timer, a gadget that timed how long you were allowed to stay in the bathroom. Well, as you can imagine, she was not thrilled. In fact, she started crying. And then there was Bob. Bob, without missing a beat, he smiled and he said, "I have long poops. I'll take it." Everyone laughed. Bob took the gift and she got to choose something else and she was happy. But now there she is, a 6-year-old still remembering that moment, not because of the poop timer, not because it was funny, not because Bob saw someone who was disappointed and quietly made things better. It was his small act of kindness. So we never really know which small acts of kindness will become lasting memories for someone else. And perhaps that's one of the real lessons Bob leaves with all of us. Bob built kindness into the lives around him, one small moment at a time. Bob's life reminds me of another thing he built, the extraordinarily beautiful dining room table made from a huge slab of wood. There's a photo of it on his memory table over there. The table will keep doing what Bob loved most, bringing people together for meals, stories, for laughter. There's a history written into that wood on the table Bob built. Each ring is a testament to a year lived and a season weathered. Each ring, whether narrow or small or wide, marks another year the tree survived and overcame hardships. Like the tree, Bob's rings evolved slowly over the years and built a beautiful story. Students who learned because he taught, friends who were better because he cared, neighbors who smiled because they knew him, family who cherished time with Bob, and a wife and daughters who carry his love forward. And a community filled with people who call their, you can still hear him saying, okay, how can I help? That was Bob. We see his story, his character, his rings everywhere, where he built over a lifetime, just as those tree rings on the dining table. The tree is gone, but the rings remain. Bob is gone, and his rings remain. And as a young boy, Bob faced Hodgkin's disease and fought through it, and that was also a ring of his life. Many years later, that radiation damage affected his health and eventually led to his passing. There are moments in this journey where mistakes and complications added to Bob's challenges, and this is very difficult for all of us to accept. Setbacks that should have never have happened. But we watched him face these with a strength that inspired everyone around him. He stayed positive, and the staff just loved him too. We started calling Bob the warrior because time after time, when the odds seemed impossible, and at times he still found a way to get through it and going again and again. He kept hoping. He kept fighting, not with bitterness or anger like he could have, but he fought with hope and determination. His strength wasn't measured just by how far he fought or how hard he fought. It was measured by how much grace he showed while fighting. He showed the courage, perseverance, just as he did as a sick boy. Maybe that's why one of Bob's favorite bands was Fleetwood Mac. A message of the song, Don't Stop, feels especially fitting. Don't stop believing. Don't stop hoping. Don't stop moving forward. That was Bob. And even during these difficult months, he never lost his sense of humor. We all know that. His humor, quick or corny, always made others laugh or smile. One day, a respiratory therapist was leaning over him while giving him a treatment. And Bob looked up at her and he asked, "Am I in your way?" It was so perfectly timed, Bob joked. He was the patient. She was there to take care of him, yet somehow Bob found a way to make us all laugh. Even in a hospital bed, even with everything he was facing at the time, he still found a way to make people smile. He still brought thought about the other people, and he was still Bob. Laughter was one of Bob's gifts, and I think he would want us smiling today, as we have already here and sharing some of those stories as we remember him. Of course, as others have mentioned, Bob wasn't all laughter and courage and determination. He was wonderfully human. Now, anyone who knew Bob knows he wasn't always in a hurry. Schedules were often more of a suggestion than a requirement because there was Bob time. Sometimes Bob could even be enjoying another one of his favorites, and that was a happy hour to him could be a nap. If you were waiting for him, there was a reasonable chance he might be just a little late. He would finally appear, and with his smile, how could you not forgive him? He was there. And if Bob was socializing with family or friends, it didn't matter that there was also a reasonable chance he might be taking a cat nap in the middle of the conversation. Many of us can picture those moments and smile because those little quirks were part of the package, part of the Bob we loved. Outside, Bob seemed happiest. On a bicycle, he ride through the countryside, checking on the bees or working in his garden, chatting on the porch and admiring his view. And if you knew Bob well, you probably heard about two things he was especially proud of: his garlic and his watermelons, which he took great pride in. Year after year, he nurtured them, watched them grow. He even asked about garlic scapes and bulbs from the hospital bed. He always celebrated every past successful harvest. Sometimes you're one of the, perhaps some of you may be one of the lucky ones who have tasted part of his harvest or even his bee honey. But these weren't just plants or bees. They were just another example of Bob's patience, his care, his ability to bring good things to life. Bob also loved his neighborhood, talking with the neighbors. I met some of them here today. And if you ever walked down the street with him, you quickly learned it would take longer than expected, as he would stop to talk to somebody. Everybody seemed to know friendly Bob. He listened because people mattered to him. The neighborhood wasn't just where he lived, it was another community he helped build, including hosting neighborhood parties almost every year. But then there was his family. Bob and Sharon would have celebrated their 35th wedding anniversary later this month. Two teachers who built a life together, a life filled with love, laughter, friendship, and partnership. Together, they opened their hearts when they adopted their beautiful daughters, Elena and Andrea, from Romania. Being a dad wasn't defined by biology, it was defined by his love. His daughters were among the greatest blessings of his life. Bob was a teacher in the classroom, but he was also a teacher at home. Bob, the wonderful dad, did all those good dad things, plus he taught his daughters many things, and they played together growing up. They loved the swing set Bob built, shooting baskets in the hoop he installed, and even doing homework together. When they were young, he diligently taught them hooked on phonics, contributing to their high reading levels. And as they grew older, the lessons just changed. He taught them responsibility, planning for the future, and how to be financially stable and independent. He would say, never look at a gift horse in the mouth, which played a huge role in how Elena says she looks at finances now, and is reminded that you should not be ungrateful or critical upon receiving a gift or favor. Andrea especially values all the things she's learned from her dad about fixing the car, maintaining the house, or using tools. She jokes around being the son her dad always wanted. I don't think he was happy. He prepared them not only for school, but for life. Bob brought something every family needs. He brought balance. He was the lighthearted one. He was the peacemaker, the one who could ease tension with a joke, lighten the mood, make people laugh, and remind everyone besides family not to take it quite so seriously, to help bring balance at home or to any situation. And apparently Bob and Andrea shared another special gift or bond when it came to cats. Andrea never had to do much convincing with Bob to add the next stray cat to the family. Together, they seemed to have a gift of understanding them. There were, in many ways, the family cat whisperers. Some talents you just simply don't understand, at least I didn't. But over a year ago, he wrote a message to Andrea with a marker on their glass sliding door. You are perfect. Isn't that sweet? To this day, they haven't been able to erase that meaningful message from the window. Bob proudly walked Elena on our wedding day, on our beautiful wedding day, and so many beautiful family moments they've had, but now are beautiful memories. Bob spent a lifetime taking care of other people. During these last 8 months, he watched the people he loved most, take care of him. And somehow that seemed exactly right. 24 hours a day, night after night, Sharon and very often Andrea were sleeping bedside every night, advocating, supporting, encouraging, and loving. Andrea's research and her knowledge month after month kept doctors and the nurses on their toes, knowing that Bob's family would not accept simple explanations or incomplete attention to his needs. Together, they surrounded Bob with a love that never, ever wavered. The hospital room became something more than a hospital room. It became a place filled with love. Sharon wrote inspirational messages on the colored whiteboard. It wasn't just encouraging messages, it was a daily reminder of the love Sharon and Bob shared, a love that never stopped showing up even on the hardest days. It was a devoted, loving wife doing whatever she could to encourage and support and uplift Bob. A reminder of hope, a reminder of faith, a reminder that even in difficult circumstances, love continues to show up every day. And Bob responded to that love with the same courage he had shown throughout their life. They met as graduate students at Virginia Tech in technology education, but what Bob and Sharon created reached far beyond the classrooms. Their marriage was always filled with actions and little words that never became little to them. I witnessed countless I love yous between them in the hospital, which was so beautiful and touching. Sharon supported Bob throughout their lives, and Sharon celebrated every single victory, faced every setback together, and found strength each day to survive for Bob. And nowhere was Bob and Sharon's love more evident than by the way they raised their daughters. Bob truly enjoyed walks with them, riding his bike through the countryside on the rail trails, sometimes with Sharon, Elena, friends, Andrea, and, and also enjoyed his usual fitness workouts or a chance to kayak with the girls. He was dedicated to his fitness and his biking routine and bringing his bike even to Wisconsin or Illinois on his family visits. So tomorrow, many of us will gather for a memorial ride and walk in Bob's honor. And that seems fitting because Bob loved the journey. But the truth is, Bob's final ride really isn't tomorrow. Every time we help a neighbor, every time we teach a child, every time we plant a garden, every time we build something with our hands, every time we choose kindness, and every time we tell someone we love them, Bob is riding with us. His legacy rides with us, his example rides with us, and his love rides with us every single day. Fleetwood Mac's Songbird song includes the simple idea that love is carried forward in the songs we leave behind. Bob's song was never about fame or recognition. It was about showing up, helping others, making others laugh, building things that mattered, and loving the people around him as well. Bob spent his entire life building things that could outlast him: a house, a table, gardens, beehives, thousands of students, and a lovely family. But perhaps the greatest thing Bob ever built was that example he left behind: an example of kindness, integrity, humor, strength, perseverance, love, and character he built for all of us. This is his legacy. No illness can take away, no passing of time can diminish, and not one who knew Bob will ever forget. His legacy will continue long after today. So I thank you, Bob, for everything you built and taught all of us here. We promise to carry it forward because we loved you, Bob, and we'll all deeply miss you. And we're going to keep building in your honor. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming to celebrate my dad's life. I know many are here from out of town, and we appreciate you making the trip. It's incredible to see all the lives that he touched. We really appreciate your support today and over the past 8 months. Thank you for the incredible generosity, care packages, cards, food, and donations towards the park bench. Please join us next door if you are able to for some of my dad's favorite snacks. As a reminder, we will be doing a bike ride or walk tomorrow at Riverfront Park at 8:30 a.m. With a light breakfast after. If you have not signed up, you are still more than welcome to join us. Please just find my mom or I just to let one of us know. Thank you again, all of you, for being here.